All right, there we go. Now, that is the entirety of my collection, excluding duplicates, because I do carry a few spares for one or two of them. And the question I got from my mate Will was, which is my favorite? Well, that's a difficult question to answer. I think from an aesthetic point of view, my favorite would always be the Climber, because I think that the scissors, to my mind, is integral to a Swiss Army knife. You can disagree with me if you like, doesn't make you right. And I think it's just that sweet spot. You can have all your scale tools. I really like having scale tools. You've got all the basic functionality, and you get a pair of scissors, and they're really good scissors. I use them all the time for all sorts of things, and people will say, oh well, why can't you use a knife? Well, I think they're very good for tidying up your nails, precision work where you don't want to be applying pressure with a knife to do the cutting. So the first answer is my favorite in terms of what I think is the high water mark for a Swiss Army knife in terms of aesthetic. It would definitely be the Climber, and this tends to be my urban EDC carry whenever I go abroad, if I'm going to Europe, for example. So definitely the Climber. In terms of longevity, which ones I've had the longest, it would have to be the Swiss Champ, the big boss dog. This has had multiple scales on it. Started off red. That's my Roald Amundsen Tribute, South Pole Tribute, black scales. This knife, I issued this knife to my wife when she went to Kyrgyzstan for the development organization, and it was very healthily used. It's been back to Switzerland to have this liner here and the corkscrew repaired, because after many summer holidays in France, it's pulled an awful lot of corks. And as I say, I've had this longer than I bought this in Germany, in Mannheim, and I've had it longer than any of the others. And when I'm going somewhere, I think, right, I'm going to want a proper set of tools. This is what I'll take. And in some ways, where aesthetically I think this is the Swiss Army knife, I think in another sense this sums up Swiss Army knives, because it's just a whole plethora of tools. It's a handful of tools in a small package. I know some of you out there will carry this in your pocket, sort of suspended and all the rest of it. I carry it in a pouch. Some days are great, some days are not. Just depends. I can go for weeks and weeks carrying this on my belt, and then one day I'll wake up and go, no, it's too bloody heavy, I'm not taking it. So there's those two. What am I carrying currently? What I carry currently is this one. This is the Huntsman. What's the Woodsmaster is it? Is the one with the screwdriver here. It's very popular, I think, with a lot of my American friends. Personally, I would rather have a corkscrew. You can do other things with corkscrew other than pull corks, but it's the screwdriver there, as I've said before, unless you're putting screws into paneling or something like that, you wouldn't want to try to adjust your carburetor on your old motorbike with a screwdriver there. You might as well just go for broke and try and use that one there, you know what I mean? But that's what I've been rocking for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, 2 months, something. I'll lose track. This one can ride in the pocket. I ride it on a belt. All my belt sheaths come from Wide River Shea, who's a mate of mine in Ukraine. Well, I say that for my part anyway. Good guy, makes quality gear, and I was buying them from him long before the whole Russian invasion and before people started waving Ukrainian flags around. It comes with the bonus of having all the tools of the Climber and a saw, which is really nice to have. I don't use it that often. If I go getting hazel wands or something like that, I'll take it with me. Then I used to, where's it gone? Oh, here it is. I used to run the Ranger, and I haven't got a problem with that because it had the file. and I have used this file to tidy up other blades. People say it's too soft for that. Well, if you roll an edge, you can certainly tart it up with this, and it works very well for notching wood and that sort of thing. So it's handy to have. I just found that the extra weight is noticeable. It's a little too large for my taste for pocket carry. Yeah, it'll find its way back. It was a long time carry, as you can see, because it's running the black scales. What have we got left? We've got the Spartan. I like the Spartan. I think I did a review of the Spartan. I carried it for a month solid, just the Spartan. It's a great little tool. I think it's just lacking because it's not the climber, if I'm honest. But I do like it, and I do have one, as you can see. This is the, what is this? This is the camper. Even if I was out in the woods all the time, every day, I still wouldn't carry the camper, because the Ranger is not that much heavier and it has a scissors and therefore is much better. And if you're not, as I say, in the woods all the time, every day, cutting small wands and things, or doing whittling or something like that, then if you work in the city or something like that, you're better off with the scissors, so you're better off with the climber. So, a bit of an orphan Annie, really. I'm sure there will be people out there who will be mortified to hear me say it, but yeah, I wouldn't buy it a second time. Now, what's left? In some sense, I'm saving the best to last. These are the aluminium sided ones. I think I've got another one somewhere with a single blade. This is the Pioneer, is it? Or is it the Farmer? This is the Farmer, which is, it's got an awl. I don't know. If I was designing this, I'd have a combination, the combo tool. I never owned a combo tool, but that would be better, and I'd have a secondary blade as well as the awl. Some people just love these for the awl itself, but I just don't find that much use for it. Also, they're very heavy for what you get. No scale tools, no pen, all that sort of stuff. But they really do look cool, don't they? They're special. This is the Farmer. Maybe this is the Farmer. That's the Pioneer. Anyway, this is the one with the saw. Again, it's a little bit like the climber. Not the climber, like the camper. For lack of a scissors, for lack of a nail, the horse was lost. For lack of a scissors, I did have one that had the scissors, and it was enormous. It was like carrying the Swiss champ around in your pocket. It was really heavy, and they're long. They're that little bit longer, not much, but a little bit. And I just found it was too much. I gave it to a very dear friend of mine. When he got married, I said he's a young lad. I said a young man getting married needs a good pocket tool. Have this one. So it was new. I don't think I'd carried it more than once. So that's those fellas. Now these two this was a recommendation, kind of a nag, and this was a gift, also a recommendation, a bit of a nag. This is the Outrider. You've seen it before. I took it to France on my troglodyte trip with my good lady. I think it's a great tool. It's got one of those fantastic handles like the Buck 110, the Buck 119, a superb ergonomic handle that fits your hand, is comfy in virtually every position. It's just really, really nice. Got an extra long blade, which is always nice to have. Of course, in the UK, you have to have a good reason to carry it. Perhaps a little big for the pocket, I don't know. The only thing, it's got a scissors. So I think it's got a slightly bigger scissors, I'm not sure. And then, as I said when I reviewed it, I don't really understand what this is all about. I'd have put an awl there. It's just begging for an awl. You look at it, you think, what's missing? An awl. It needs a big awl right there. but instead they give you a very fine Phillips screwdriver. Can't explain it, don't understand it, but not ungrateful. And I was blown away when it turned up in the post. And love him. He even remembered to get it in black because he knows about my Roller Munson admiration. Now this little fella, this is the manager. The same friend of mine went on and on and on about how I should have one of these. And I said, I don't need one of these. I carry one on my belt. I've got a spare. I carry a single or double-bladed traditional in my pocket. What do I need this for? Anyway, it went on so much. Eventually, I gave in and went out and bought two because they don't make them anymore. And this is what I find. I find there's you'll find a product, you think fantastic, go out and buy one, and 5 minutes later they stop making them. So I bought two of these. So I got one in my spares box. So small knife, yeah. Well, yeah, you're going to use it for what it's designed for, aren't you? You're going to use it for opening envelopes, cutting string, that sort of thing. You could dress a rabbit with it, or a squirrel, make a mess. I have seen my wife cut pate with hers. I bought her one. We were in Mannheim sometime a little while back visiting friends. We went into one of these sort of, I don't know, it was a airsoft shop, I think. They sold Victorinox, and she didn't care what was on it, just as long as it was pink. Anyway, so I bought her one of those, and she still has it, which is amazing. But I've seen her cut cheese and pate with hers. I don't really think that that's appropriate, but hey, it's got one of these sort of funny multi-tools. That's a cap lifter, and a wire stripper, and a Phillips screwdriver. Now that kind of makes sense. The cap lifter, it took me a little while to get used to that. It always feels to me like you're going to snap the thing off, but it's rock solid, and it does work. It was the first time I had it, I said it didn't work. Small scissors for even more detailed work. Same standard, different size, bloody marvelous. Small nail file, and because it's a manager, you get a pen and a tweezers. And I have to say, straight up, to my mate, you were right. It rides on my key ring, and I use it a lot more than I thought I would. I really do. If he hadn't nagged me, would I bought one? Absolutely not. Just wouldn't have bothered. But I do use it mostly for keeping my personal hygiene, keeping my fingernails in trim and cuticles and that sort of thing. But also, you know, it's very handy if you're short a pen. You know, the Victorinox pens work really well. I've used the cap lifter, the scissors I use a lot. Haven't used the tweezers, and I've used the knife. So yeah, that's the surprise in the bundle, that one. The cherry in the cake, really is. So that's it. Will, I hope I've answered your questions. I wouldn't be without them. I don't know, except perhaps the camper and these two. I certainly wouldn't want to be without a Swiss Army knife, because they're just so useful, and they just sort of as I saw a guy once talking about a titanium pot. He said when you've got a piece of gear that works, it just sort of fades into the background, and it's a bit like that with these. They kind of fade into the background. They're just always on your belt, or always in your pocket. You've always got one somewhere, and sometimes when you're short of a particular tool, you have to you suddenly come to this, oh, I can fix that, oh, I can do that, oh, I've got that, because you just got so used to having them around. Right, so that's it for this evening, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you'll comment and all that good stuff. In the meantime, this is Steve from Fading Margins, wishing you all health, happiness, and every blessing. And I'm signing out. Bye for now.